Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rap Rock and All That Jazz. My name is Yusra.
And I'm Leslie Wilson.
And we have a really cool show for you guys today.
Yeah, we always will.
Yes. Specifically today, though, because I don't know why, I just really delved into this topic when I was researching about it. It's death metal.
Jesus. Does that mean metal's dead, Yusra?
No.
No, okay. Tell me more about it.
Okay, so basically, I did some research.
All right.
I've got my trusty paper, which
All
I'm
right.
going to say I'm going to cheat from because I don't have all this information in my head.
Yeah.
So basically, death metal is defined by sort of an extreme subgenre of heavy metal music. And I don't know if you listen to death metal, but it's like really harsh guitar, really like aggressive, powerful drumming, and the way they sing, if I can call it singing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think music is for moods. You know, I listen to death metal when I've had a really bad day in office. When I'm going, I just want to bash something up and all. I just bash my brains out with heavy metal or, death metal. But it's kind of cool, isn't it? I know death metal is a derivation of thrash metal, which is metal hard rock played at a fast and furious pace. Perhaps an iconic band was Metallica. They were racing through their songs. So death metal is definitely a derivation of that. Mm-hmm. And while it isn't as fast as thrash metal was, it's even deeper, darker. The guys sing with deep voices like it comes out right from the bowels of the earth.
Oh, to be honest, I don't think I've really given it a chance because I don't want to. It's not for me. But the history of the genre is extremely interesting, especially as we kind of go deeper in it and talk about the subgenre black metal.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wait until I tell you what it is. So basically, what do you think is like the musical characteristics of death metal? Like one of the things, the instruments. So we said it's very like fast, high tempo. The guitars are like really low tuned, according to my research.
Yeah.
And it's like the sort of the subjects matter in the lyrics.
Course, yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Sure, let's go.
It's usually about violence, Satanism, occultism, and they kind of just describe really extreme acts. And I think it's one of the reasons why death metal really hasn't surfaced into something that's like mainstream.
Yeah.
Do they even want to be mainstream?
I don't think they want to. I mean, I think the reason death metal found its way into the music world, into the realm of hard rock loving, is because a lot of good hard rock bands started to become commercialized. They were selling records by truckloads, Guns N' Roses, Metallica. And these guys wanted to do something that was for themselves, not to hit Billboard charts, not to make money out of. They wanted to be happy, do things that would shock the kids. Kids are pretty rebellious, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they found an audience with these kids who liked rebellious music. If you don't sing to tune, they sing out of tune. They sing with the guitars are really low strung because they're more distorted. They're much more distorted.
Yeah.
You get really fuzzy sounding, noisy. The guitars sound angry themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I listened, and it is a rough genre. I mean, listen to some of these band names, okay? Are you ready? They are called Venom, Celtic Frost, Slayer, Creator with a K.
Yeah.
Other names are like Possessed, Death, Necrophagia, Obituary. Come on,
Yeah,
Obituary.
yeah.
Autopsy, Morbid Angel. What is this?
I think part of the business is to sell it with a weird sounding name, really scary sounding name. From the name itself, you're gonna what you're in for.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, one of my favorite bands, I don't know if they completely are death metal, is a band called Ghost.
Okay.
Have you heard of these guys? They're Swedish.
Oh yeah, the Swedes sure
and they're
know
really
how to
good
do
at that.
death
And
metal.
It's almost like gothic rock.
Yeah.
I mean, death metal meets gothic rock. Where the lead singer Tobias Faras, he dresses like the cardinal and he does all sorts of things that are anti-Semitic, anti-Christ.
Yeah.
But it's theatrical. It's meant to be that way. It's a genre that finds a lot of audience in the way it presents itself to the young people. It's not just the music. It's the way you sell the music, the way you tell the story of death metal. And at the end of the day, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun,
Yeah,
Trust
it is.
me, yeah.
I think
Give it a shot. Ghost
Maybe.
is a name. Yeah.
Ghost. Okay, that's the one band you want me to listen to. All right. So jumping a little bit into the history. So death metal actually sort of emerged in the mid 1980s. I was not alive then, and it peaked around 92, 93. It did find success with people, as you mentioned, but it could never really hit the mainstream, like we said.
Yeah.
And, one of these, the genres that really came out of death metal is a subgenre called black metal.
Yeah.
So black metal sort of originates in Norway, Sweden, and there is this insane band, okay, that I'm gonna focus on now for the next few minutes because they are.
Go ahead.
They really whoa. I read that history and it was shocking. Mayhem. I don't know if you know Mayhem.
Listen, with all these crazy names that these death metal bands are, it's mayhem out there.
It is mayhem out there. So, Mayhem is a sort of black metal band that was founded by this guy called Øystein Arrest. And so, here's the thing about black metal is that people who they don't use their names on stage. They have pseudonyms.
Yeah.
So his pseudonym was Euronymous. Euronymous.
Wow.
I don't know what that means. So him and this,
maybe it's a play with unanimous, so something like that. Yeah.
Euronymous. So he started a band with this guy called Jarn Stuberud. I'm sorry if I'm butchering all
I'm
of
not
this.
even going to try to pronounce his name. Just don't get me into that.
His stage name was Necro Butcher. Right. So, and they had another drummer, and they sort of started in the scene in the early, mid 80s, doing cover songs of Black Sabbath and Venom and Motorhead, and then they recorded their first demo. And after that happened, they recruited 2 more people. Lost them again, and then recruited 2 more. So they were very unstable. And then one band member joined the band, and his name was,
I'm waiting for this.
So his real name was Per Yenvi Olin, but his pseudonym was Dead. So Dead, his pseudonym, he was a very critical member of this band because he kind of pioneered the whole costumes and being really weird on stage.
So he's kind of dead serious.
Dead serious about this genre. So what he did is he would use corpse paint on his face, and he would cut himself on stage.
Yeah.
He buried his clothes overnight outside and wore them again on stage just so he can really feel dead. And his band members were seriously worried about him. They're this guy wants to be dead. That's kind of what he wants to represent on stage. And I feel he inspired a lot of people today to really paint their face on stage. And he would put dead animals on stakes as decoration. Like, does that not sound insane to you?
I'm not really surprised. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, that metal is it's a lot about the image.
Yeah.
And actually it started by a guy called Alice Cooper.
Okay.
You remember him from the 70s and
Kiss?
80s? Yeah, Alice Cooper.
Was
he used to
he-
paint himself.
Yes.
He had a guillotine on stage. He used to,
Oh.
he used to kill people on stage. There was a lot of blood and gore. But his music was pretty cool. His iconic song was a song called "School's Out."
For summer?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
there you
the one.
go. There you go.
Hey, look at me.
So Alice Cooper, I mean, he was so theatrical.
Yeah.
It was like going to, to the theater when you went to a rock concert of Alice Cooper. So he probably laid the groundwork for all these guys, and it's lovely, isn't it? I mean, like I said, Ghost do a lot of theatrics on stage.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Opeth. There's so many great bands. Insifrium. These are lovely bands who have fun on stage, like we're having fun out here.
Yeah, you're like an encyclopedia of music.
I hope my editor hears that.
So basically, it is such an interesting genre, I think. Metal in general, heavy metal, death metal, black metal, because they just have such cults, following them.
Yeah, that's true. That's the word, magic word, cults.
Cults.
That's what you want to
A lot of the stuff they sing about is Satanism
Yeah.
and murder and just just bad things.
I think it's all in the name of fun, Yusra. I don't think they're like a Ku Klux Klan or, the Freemasons or anything, They just try to create these cults, this whole aura of, scary stuff, underground stuff that is so antichrist, anti-establishment. And there are, like you mentioned, there are hundreds and hundreds of genres, subgenres, symphonic metal, guitar metal, and it just goes on. It's it's a bespoke kind of business. You could create your own genre tomorrow, and maybe good luck. You might just find a couple of weird kids out there listening to your music.
Yeah. I mean, I just think how difficult it could have been back then to really gain a following without the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, sure, the internet existed in some places in the 90s and in the 80s, but that's what I'm wondering, is that these guys must have really like gone out there and like gone on stage and done concerts, and like what were people thinking? Some of these guys burned churches down in Norway, and like one of them murdered another one. I'll keep going with the story in a bit.
Now we're getting serious. Wow.
Yes.
I thought these guys were out having fun.
No. I mean, I think most of them wanted to be, but like I told you, the band member of Mayhem Dead was a very like extreme guy, in the 90s when they would all go into like a cabin in the forest, because people do that for some reason. They would like write songs together or practice together and record together, but then they would really get on each other's nerves and they'd start fights, and these fights would end very nasty. I mean, Dead at some point ended up killing himself. He committed suicide because of his desire to just be dead.
So is he dead now?
Dead is dead.
Dead is dead.
Dead is dead.
Jesus.
Like so he killed himself.
God bless him.
And he shot himself in the head. And you know what his friend did when he found him? He like broke his skull and stole some of his bones and made necklaces out of them and like gave them away to like other sort of artists who were deserving of the
Listen,
music.
kids out there, don't do any of this stuff. There's a statutory warning on the show, so we're just talking about some extreme music. And Usra, I just want to mention something. You mentioned about bands that go into the woods and camp and do stuff like that. There was a band called Jethro Tull, an iconic British folk rock band. Do you remember them? They sang Thick as a Brick, Locomotive Breath, and great stuff like that.
I don't.
They were known to go to 5-star hotels and pitch up tents in their rooms, their lovely, beautiful air-conditioned rooms, burn a fire in there. They were so wacky till the smoke signal caught them once. And they were told, listen, guys, you can't do this. You got to do it outdoors. But this is what the kind of stuff they did.
You can't set up a tent in a hotel, guys.
They did it.
You're paying for a bed. That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of does beg the question of, like, what do artists... Like, how far would artists go to really get in the zone of, like, writing songs and getting inspiration and stuff? And, I mean, these guys required, sheep heads on spears in their concerts and yucky face paintings and, punching each other.
Yeah. I think they would. The sky's the limit. They'd go anywhere. I mean, don't great writers do that? Don't great movie makers? They push boundaries. They push the envelope. So I think these guys, they want to do something that's never done before, perhaps, or do something so extreme that it even surprises them sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that I can think about is like, I, for some reason, can't differentiate the artist with the person when it comes to when I read things like this, like black metal. Like, it seems they were really, really into their craft to the point that they're not human anymore. They're a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of roll into their alter egos, I mean, I think all of us have an alter ego besides the ego, of course, but and maybe that's what they do. Subconsciously, sometimes consciously as well. So there's a lot of undercurrents. There's a lot of like subterfuges, everything going on in music, and not too many people talk about death metal and all this go metal. So I think it's a great opportunity that we ourselves, I think I learned something from you today.
You learned about Dead and Mayhem.
Really, I heard about this crazy guy. What a
Like, seriously,
Whistlehead,
go and
yeah.
read about it and, like, look at photos. We're going to try to put some photos up here. I asked our video person to help us out.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just can't humanize people like that. And, like, what about the whole stereotype of people who listen to death metal? Because if I looked at you with your smart haircut and your, like, horn-rimmed glasses, like, do you listen? I just can't picture you, like, jamming out to death metal in your car.
I'm a closet death metal fan. No, I listen to anything, everything.
Yeah.
When you're an audiophile like me, you're a bit of a weird sort of guy. I'm willing to experiment with music. Most things in life, I pretty much am mainstream. But when it comes to music, I think the world's your oyster. From folk to rock to pop to country. And there's so much of fun. Yusra, if ever I had one wish to ask my genie, to be born again. And to be born again as me.
Aww.
And to be able to listen to music that I missed this time in my life.
Oh, that's sweet.
Because there's so much, believe me, there's so much of music out there that we don't have time to listen to.
I'd probably wish for a faster metabolism, but yeah. To be born again is good.
Yeah, so is that it? Are we done? Are we dead with this death metal stuff for today?
I think we're done. I think we're dead. I mean, I wouldn't be able to even tell you what song to check out, but just listen to some of the bands we mentioned to get an idea of, the insanity maybe of this genre.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. You want to tell them about next week?
Yeah, guys, just keep listening to our show. We've been thinking a lot, Yusra, myself, and all our colleagues out here who have been supporting us.
Yeah.
And we're going to have some real fun out here.
Yeah.
Next week we're probably going to do a show on the cheesiest songs ever written.
Summer.
The songs of summer. Sorry about that. That's the editor's call. So we do that first. The boss is always right, isn't it? So
is
we
that
do
me?
his. Yeah, why not?
Let me just
So we'll do summer songs next time. What are the songs you're going to be listening during summer?
Oh, yeah.
And
Great
we're going to have a
one.
lot of fun. Stay with us, guys. Keep sending us some requests or subjects you'd like us to talk about. If at all we interest you, we'd be very happy to exchange ideas, not just between us, but with you guys out there as well.
Send us a tweet at Gulf News on Twitter, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you soon.